This afternoon on the Pulse, heavy industry company Zoomlion Ghana Limited refutes allegations of being contracted by the Volta River Authority to undertake any fumigation exercise in the communities affected by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. We have the latest from the group. Meanwhile, there's a lot unfolding in Parliament as the majority leader says VRA officials will be made to answer questions in Parliament over the spillage of the Akosombo Dam, which displaced more than 30,000 residents along the Volta River. We'll get to the very latest from the communities and take you to Parliament, where the minority there is also this afternoon demanding an end to the security services brutalizing civilians as they condemn the attack on residents in Garo by some soldiers. And we have details as the NPP MP for one of the constituencies is describing the incident as unfortunate, demanding some further investigation into the matter. Also, we're looking at the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who's on the final lap of his campaign in the northern parts of the country as the New Patriotic Party JSR to elect a new leader for the governing New Patriotic Party this weekend. We have live pictures from the Community Plus updates for you. Dr. Bawumia will be live on the channel when he takes his turn to address a gathering up north where he is campaigning to become the leader of the NPP. This and more coming your way here on The Pulse. The Pulse is always brought to you by Global Communities, Digni Lu, Affordable Safe Sanitation. Don't forget that we're on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, on Facebook, YouTube, as well as myjoyonline.com. I'm Blessed Songa. Joy News is independent, fearless, and credible. Welcome to The Pulse. We'll get your details shortly. Heavy industry, science and technology firm Zoomlion says it has not been contracted by the Volta River Authority to undertake any form of fumigation exercise in communities affected by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. Investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri Awene impugned impropriety when he took to Facebook to criticize an officer of the VRA for announcing plans to contract Zoomlion for fumigation activities in communities affected by the spillage of the dam. But Zoomlion says the allegations are baseless and lack any factual basis. Let's bring you excerpts of the statement released a couple of minutes ago by Zoomlion, titled Zoomlion Ghana Limited and matters relating to the fumigation exercise. It points out that the attention of the management of the Zoomlion Ghana Limited has been drawn to a report on social media dubbed Ibrahim Mahama, Zoomlion and Serious Questions for VRA, which stories seek to suggest that Zoomlion Ghana Limited has been contracted by the Volta River Authority to undertake fumigation of the lower Volta areas affected by recent controlled spillage from the Akosombo Dam. Now, that statement continues to point out that management will categorically want to refute this misleading, false and unfortunate assertion by one Manasseh Azuri Awene, who has for the past 10 years sought to level various forms of allegations against Zoomlion to no avail. The recent publication is a demonstration of Manasseh's clear disregard for journalistic integrity and professional ethics, as is expected of a professional of his caliber. Then they go ahead to point out that, quote, we want to emphasize that Zoomlion Ghana Limited has not been contracted by the Volta River Authority to undertake any fumigation activity in the said affected area, as claimed by Mr. Awini. His allegations are baseless and lack any factual basis. It is disheartening that in his pursuit of sensationalism and cheap popularity, Mr. Awini has chosen to interpret, to misrepresent the facts, as the statement is pointing out. And then they go ahead to talk about the fact that on Monday, the 23rd of October 2023, Zoomlion Ghana Limited, led by its executives and management, presented a number of relief items worth over 500,000 cedis to victims of the spillage. Additionally, a sister company, which is Ecozoil, also donated almost 500 life jackets to the media and rescue team supporting the situation on the ground. Now, at the same time, the presentation, that's at the same presentation event, the company, in addition to the items presented, announced its intent to also fumigate the areas once the water had receded. It is therefore regrettable, as the statement is pointing out, that Mr. Manasseh Azuri Awini has chosen to overlook the notable humanitarian efforts undertaken by Zoomlion and its sister companies in support of flood victims, a gesture which was widely covered by various media outlets. Yet, Mr. Awini chose to disregard these facts and propagate misleading information, and also he was peddling his usual falsehood against the one company that has been at the forefront of keeping Ghana clean, green, and healthy. And this is deeply concerning, the statement says. Management wishes to challenge Mr. Manasseh Awini to provide evidence to substantiate his claims and allegations regarding the alleged contract awarded to the company. We remain unwavering in our commitment to uphold our corporate social responsibility and providing steadfast support to the communities in the Volta region, and in other ways to also to support the motherland Ghana, despite the unwarranted distractions which are caused by such baseless accusations. So this is the latest we're receiving from Zoomlion Ghana Limited. Let's hear from Adam Senano, who's co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption. He's also serving on the AU's advisory board against anti-corruption. Thank you so much, sir, for spending some time with us. The latest from Zoomlion Ghana Limited, the position it has on this whole fumigation exercise, which it will be carrying out in all districts affected by the flood waters caused by the spillage of the dam. But beyond that, looking at the challenge which is now being thrown to Manasseh Azuri, do you feel that that should put matters to rest? The fact that at least Zoomlion says it is just simply doing this as service to the nation?
Well, I think that it's always good to do a cross-check. For some reason, I thought I'd seen some announcement by VRA to this effect. Perhaps maybe it's a Manasseh's write-up rather. But I think it would be good to connect with Manasseh and find out whether he has evidence to the contrary. Then we can draw a final curtain on whether Zoomlion is right about this.
But the argument has been made, sorry, Adam, that some officials, at least of the Volta River Authority, are on record to have said that Zoomlion was contracted. As to whether or not it was a matter of semantics, indeed, there were some pronouncements that Zoomlion was going to carry out this fumigation
exercise. I think that's probably exactly what I was referring to, that I thought I'd read somewhere something from VRA to that extent. And so I'm quite sure that over the next 24, 48 hours, we'll be hearing from Manasseh making reference if there were individuals who said this. And so it's a third party. The picking on Manasseh as someone who has an agenda may not fly if we're able to show that there was a VRA or some VRA officials were the ones who said this. In any case, I think that the bottom line simply is this. How much more support can we give these communities that are certainly struggling? How can we galvanize more items that can make their lives more comfortable? And what is the roadmap towards making sure that things turn around? Somehow we seem to have a silence around a national coordinated effort to make sure we have a clear path forward. And that would have been helpful. And if Zoomlion is committing to give resources to that and supporting free of charge, that would be great news.
I see. The company in question is not new to the Ghanaian space and the anti-corruption space as well, knowing the background to why possibly Manasseh might be raising some of these concerns, and the World Bank reports on some of the activities and dealings of the company and other issues, which has been a long drawn fight between this very investigative journalist and the company itself. Should that matter when it comes to an issue of a national emergency such as this? The fact that victims and continue to be displaced by the activities of the floodwaters. Now the floodwaters are receding and public health should be placed first. Should we be equally concerned about, anti-corruption, corruption and all of that related matters now? Should that also be a concern?
Well, if recent history is anything to go by, when we've had crisis, we've had the corruption entrepreneurs who suddenly jump on board and find ways of scamming Ghanaians and making money off the plight of Ghanaians. It doesn't matter whether they are vulnerable and are struggling. And so under COVID, all of a sudden, you had people hiking up prices, and those who were saying they're offering services, those who were saying that we're going to import vaccines and the pricing, you're not quite sure how they got the pricing, etc. So it is a period that all of us as Ghanaians need to pay a lot more attention to the kinds of services that are being provided, the contractor arrangements, and the costing of same. I think it is a time where we should be concerned about whether people want to take advantage of the system and defraud us of the resources that we already don't have to take care of basic necessities.
Adam, I just want you to stay with us briefly because the majority leader has been commenting on this matter. He points out in Parliament that officials of the Volta River Authority will be made to answer some questions in Parliament over the spillage of the Ekosombo Dam. We know that more than 30,000 residents along the river have been displaced, with properties running into millions of cities. We'll hear from the majority leader first, but just the fact that he's been pointing that out, that some officers of the VRA would have to answer in Parliament. We'll get to that shortly, but what's your take even before we hear from the majority leader?
I think that is a very relevant step to take. I have been wondering, yes, we've been told that VRA is a very effective communication architecture. But from the ground, it appears that information ended up at district assemblies who did not pass it on to residents. We've had parents of people calling that they had no idea. In spite of the fact that there appeared to be a system in place, it doesn't look like the necessary work had been done, such that they had clear understanding of you're moving from this point to higher ground here. These are the areas demarcated. These are the people who support you. There has not been that kind of comprehensive approach to this crisis. And if we don't learn from it now, then the likelihood is that we're going to have these repetitions, and sometimes probably with much more dire consequences than we have experienced this time. So it is an important exercise for the persons involved, those are the helm of affairs, to be asked, what kind of emergency systems did you have in place? What kind of information flow? What kind of support systems to ensure that citizens, would be afforded the protection and the safety and security they desired? How did we ensure that we didn't make the kind of losses we are seeing now? The kind of properties, businesses, it's really gargantuan. And I think that that kind of effort from Parliament and perhaps other bodies would make it much more likely that next time we'll do a better job of protecting citizens in the country.
We're just looking forward to, that parliamentary session. For you, what should be the key issues for us to look out for beyond, the spillage and how that has affected communities? Is there anything more in terms of contractual agreements that we should be scrutinizing?
Well, I would be interested in finding out whether the moment, I know NAPMO is at the heart of this, but what systems do we have to ensure that efforts are coordinated, are targeted, and they are not silos, people doing things independently, and at the end of the day, we don't get, the kind of impact in terms of alleviating the situation that the citizens have. And in that instance, how are we guarding the resources that come in to ensure that we don't have individuals and perhaps some groups taking advantage of the situation? It will be interesting to find out, do we have a system? Do we have a mechanism? Do we have a coordinated effort? Do we have somebody, I haven't seen that so far. And I'm sure that there are many Ghanaians who are bothered that how do we approach these kinds of crises without a system in place and without the necessary, reviews that could be done, whether it's weekly or monthly, and everybody is being given some feedback, some information, so that we can follow and appreciate that the things are improving and we're making headway. I think that some kind of review in that direction would be useful.
All right. Grateful for spending some time with us. Adam Senanu, we're grateful for your time. We talk now about the National Democratic Congress in Parliament because they are demanding an immediate end to the practice of security services unleashing violence on residents in communities where their colleagues are attacked. Some soldiers descended on Garo in the Upper East region, beating civilians who are alleged to have attacked some national security operatives. Deputy Minority Whip Ahmed Ibrahim says the incident was totally unwarranted.
There was Ashama, there was Nkranza South, there was Techiman South, then there's Garo. It's becoming unbecoming. And before that, there was a matter that was before a committee where the activities of policing in this country and the activities of the IGP were also under a committee. All should not just be by committee. So I know, as I said, that Garo issue will also not be absent in this Parliament chamber. It's a matter that is going to be discussed. And I think as a country, we must find a solution, a lasting solution to such activities. I'm saying this because you may be civilian today and may be a service person tomorrow. You may be a service person today, tomorrow you may be a civilian. I don't think in Garo they were asked who were former servicemen. Everybody was beaten left, right, center. In Ashama, nobody was asked whether you are a serviceman or you are a serving personnel or you are a civilian. People were beaten left, right, center. Everybody is a potential victim. And therefore, when it happens, we must find a way of addressing mass issues. And the Garo MP is already speaking. And I know he's one of the very, very vociferous MPs that we have in the chamber. So he will raise this issue.
Well, NPP MP for Kankwe Central, Patrick Boama, described the incident as unfortunate and demanded that a thorough investigations be instituted to unravel the full circumstances of this matter.
It's a very unfortunate incident. I think nobody has a right to attack a security personnel, regardless of how the person feels. And the security personnel also have a responsibility to protect life and property and to use due process to settle matters when they arise. I've seen a statement from the National Security Minister or the National Security Council, and I expect that the right things are done, the right investigations are taking place or conducted to ensure that we ascertain the truth or otherwise of what happened.
And we're taking a break here. We'll be right back. Please stay.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see Sintex. Sintex.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Sintex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Sintex again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Sintex gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Sintex is the answer. Sintex tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Hello, kids! Are you ready to turn up the heat and show the world your culinary skills? It's that time again. It's the season 3 of the ultimate cooking competition for kids. It's Big Chef! This is your chance to prove to the world that your culinary creations are a recipe for success. Are you between the ages of 8 and 14 years and have the passion for cooking? Don't miss out on this sizzling opportunity. Share with us a 2-minute video of yourself cooking your favorite meal to a WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. You have from now till 9th November 2023 to come along and let's turn these kitchen dreams into a reality. Big Chef, good meals by kids.
Big Chef Season 3 is brought to you by Frital, Fortune Rice, Indomie, Tasty Tom, Flora Tissues, Kiki Juice Drink, Makana Market.
Smile, Look lively, okay? Smile, smile. Is the money too small? A bad stomach ruins your day. Don't let it. Take Gastron, your most effective antacid for the relief of symptoms of peptic ulcer, heartburn, gas pain, flatulence, and indigestion.
Hey guys, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Mwah. Can you bring down the smiles more? Gastron, effective relief from stomach discomfort. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Every day, people have money emergencies.
Mom, I need my school fees.
Emergency.
Mommy, chop
money. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
And thanks for staying with us. I want to bring in Francis Xavier Susu Madina MP, who also is a human rights lawyer, joining us via Zoom now. On the latest that we're receiving, of course, the bipartisan kind of support that we're hearing from MPs on the latest incident in Garris. The reason for which I want to talk to the Honourable Francis Xavier Susu is joining us via Zoom now. Thank you so much, sir, for spending some time with us here on the Pulse. The point about, military, and not just military, other law enforcement agencies going on rampage, attacking innocent civilians in in the cases where we have any of their officers being attacked, as you're pointing out, must stop. But it does continue, isn't it, given the latest incident we've seen from Garo? First of all, what's your take on the possible legal remedies that's open to residents of Garo? And beyond that, as a member of parliament, how do you feel we can effectively tackle this?
Well, thank you very much, and very good afternoon to your cherished viewers. I think that the situation that we are having in the country today will continue to recur if the security apparatus would not stop using a very, very brutish way of dealing with what they claim to be an attack on security apparatus. We must understand that we are in a democracy, and the foundations of every democracy is what we call the rule of law. And rule of law means that in dealing with every situation, any and every situation, you would deal with them in accordance with law. Police officers, security officers are not different from any civilian. When a civilian violates another civilian, the remedy is either you report to the criminal investigations for the person to be dealt with in accordance with law. That is, the person may be charged for criminal with criminal offense if there is evidence to that effect. If not, then there will still be remedies in the civil court for assault. But if the military or the military, for that matter, because it looks like that they have been at the forefront of this kind of attack in recent times. The military will continue in the manner in which they are continuing. They would have to understand that they are being completely lawless. There is nowhere in our laws that says that when there is an attack on a security officer or a military officer, you should go around people up and begin to beat them and subject them to all kinds of torture and dehumanizing treatment. And so I think that the military high rank, as well as the people who are managing that, the security services would have to bow their heads in shame, because this continues almost every now and then, and we don't know when it's going to stop. If it continues this way, one of these days, the military is going to come face to face with the citizenry. And I can assure you that if they think that they have the power of the gun, they should remember that the power of the people can be stronger than the power of those guns, because they may not be able to withstand when the people mass up together to come and defend, themselves against their brutalities. And so I think it is time the military would have to go back to the drawing board and then maybe retrace its step and do the right things.
The question has come up again because we've seen several commissions of inquiry condemning these sorts of attack. The last one being the Jura Commission or committee working extensively on deployment of military and how they go into communities as well. Looking at what's happening now, I'm just wondering what problem the kind of probe you want to see in Parliament as minority will solve, because there's extensive work pointing out why the military should be contained in such circumstances.
Well, I think that, like you rightly pointed out, what as a people, we like paying lip services to things and do nothing about them. If you look at all these commissions of inquiries, what has been the outcome of those commissions of inquiry? How many people have been brought to court and punished for their involvement in such atrocities? How many military officers have lost their ranks on account of either supervising or leading or ordering such, violations of innocent citizens? And so not until we really take matters seriously and deal with people who violate others in that manner, ruthlessly, in accordance with law, I don't think anything is going to change. And I'm hoping that moving forward, hopefully the parliamentary committees that are working on various brutalities will come up with very, very strong recommendations, which would, provide us like a clear pathway. I think that people who are found culpable must be punished. So long as people, lead these rampages, they supervise them and they go unpunished, it will continue to recur.
Okay, let's look at the parliamentary level now and what you in the minority are asking for. Do you feel that the Speaker should be expediting work on this, or what approach do you intend to use?
Well, I think that the Speaker would have to expedite action on this. We saw what happened at the a while ago at I think. I think I'm just losing out on that town near Tema.
The Ashaiman incident, you mean?
The Ashaiman incident. Ashaiman incident. Right. Yeah, thank you. We saw what happened at Ashaiman, and we have not gotten to the bottom of that. We saw what happened at English and Manfum. We have not gotten to the bottom of that. I recall that there was one involving police, and so it looks like there is something fundamentally wrong with law enforcement in Ghana. I mean, how both police, the military are working, there's something fundamentally wrong. And it's so important that Parliament will provide the way out, because we are the representatives of the people. We are the Parliament is the house of the people. And so if these people continue to be violated in the manner in which they are violated and Parliament does nothing about it, what it also means is that the people are going to lose confidence in Parliament. So I'm really hopeful that the Speaker of Parliament will take special interest in this matter, and not only formulate this committee, but ensure that we can have a very speedy hearing of these matters so we can bring some people to book.
The question about even civilians and how they treat the security agencies in this Garo area specifically, there are countless, reports of how, because of the nature of the community, some security personnel have been attacked in the community. To some extent, some of them have been killed. Their activities have led to the death of some of these security personnel. Is that not also a factor to look at? Mob justice, which is also creeping into this community?
Absolutely. Definitely, that is something.
We might have just lost
fundamental.
Okay. Right.
What is the cause of mob justice? What are the causes of mob justice? Remember that it is when people lose confidence in the. It is when people lose confidence.
It appears that we're having some challenges there with Honourable Francis Xavier. So we just lost you briefly. If you could just take that point for me again, the issue about mob justice. Yes. We'll just, try and reconnect with Honourable Francis Xavier Soso, who is a human rights lawyer, also Medina MP, speaking to us on this issue. Honourable, apologies there, we lost you briefly on the point you're raising about mob justice. If you could just take that point for me again.
We should ask ourselves, what are the root causes of mob justice? One of the fundamental causes of mob justice is the lack of confidence in the security service. Now, why would why would citizens want to attack? Why would citizens want to attack a police service or attack a military installation or attack any security installation? Citizens will do that either they are suspicious or whether they don't have confidence in the security apparatus, or they are not too sure why the security apparatus are there, and so on and so forth. That does not provide a justification for any citizen taking the law into their own hands. But I'm only saying that most often than not, people or citizens will take the laws into their own hands when they lack confidence in the security apparatus. And in dealing with those citizens, the security will not have to take the law into their own hands. So, because two wrongs should not make a right. So if you say that citizens are taking the law into their own hands and attacking security officers, and so the military is also taking the law into their own hands and attacking civilians, whether they were involved or not, then what you are promoting is lawlessness. And that is not what you want to see in a society.
The explanation we got from community leaders was that, they were simply adhering to government's see something, say something campaign, which forms part of the anti-terrorism mechanism. And these individuals involved then were not armed, were not necessarily using any uniform, identifiable uniform, a reason for which the community had to engage in the activities they did. And that brings up the issue about possible reforms to how, national security is deployed and what sorts of engagements they should be involved in. Looking at this particular case, what's your recommendation on that?
Well, I would say that the national security itself has a lot to do because the national security and its operatives do not have any good image out there. And I am not too sure exactly how they carry out their operations, in which form. But if you carry out your operation as national security officers in a way that raises suspicions within the citizenry, then it means that you definitely need to reform your approach. I don't know how many times national security officers have come face to face with citizenry in a manner as it happened in Garu. But if what happened in Garu is anything to go by, it means that, there should be some other ways that national security officers, when they come in contact with civilians, can quickly identify themselves as members of the security. And perhaps if they have an ID card or they have a way of, validating or showing who they are, I don't think that citizens will simply jump on you and start assaulting you only because they see you as a strange person who identifies as national security officer. I think that there is more to this than that. And that is the more reason why we need to really investigate this, so that when you have listened to both sides and you have been to the community and you have all-round information, it's easier to make far-reaching recommendations.
Finally, there's so much anxiety in the community, the Garo community. Is there any message to the people there looking at the level of escalation?
Well, I just want to, first of all, commiserate with all the people there and say that they just have to stay strong and know that these violations will definitely be investigated, and those who are found culpable will be brought to book. And they also to encourage them that, indeed, if you see something, you say something, which is...
Okay, point well made there. Grateful for your time. Francis Xavier Susu, Medina MP, speaking to us here on The Pulse. And now we talk politics because the flag bearer aspirant of the governing New Patriotic Party, Dr. Osu Afriyie-Akoto, says that he's capable of breaking the 8 for the New Patriotic Party in the 2024 elections. Over 200,000 delegates will on Saturday elect the party's presidential candidate for the next election. He's, however, warning any attempt to subvert the will of the people will be disastrous for the governing party. Elton John Brobe reports.
Out of 958 delegates, Dr. Osu Afriyie-Akoto pulled 36 votes in the Super Delegates Conference in August, enough to secure him a seat among the table of 5. According to him, he went into the election hoping to make the first 5.
So our strategy was to make sure that we are in the 5, and we are in the 5. And this coming forth is a totally different ballgame altogether, because we are talking about 20 times
the number.
Yes.
So how do you respond to those who say that this clearly is a reflection of what is to come?
Oh, well, I think it's a misjudgment.
But why do you think that it can change?
Because the delegates down there are totally different from their leadership. Their leadership have disappointed them. I'm very confident that those down there who have suffered so much for this party will take the right decision. And that right decision is to choose Osu Afriyie-Akoto as their flag bearer.
But after engaging more than half of the 900 super delegates, he was shocked that only 36 voted for him.
The fear of the delegates, yes, and that's true. But the thing is that for me, talking to out of the 958 who voted, at least I can say that I spoke directly to more than half of them, to convince, to sell my vision for the party and for the country. And I was very sure that at the end of it, they bought into my vision. At the end of the day, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So Osu Afriyie was right, that you fear delegates. But in the case of the 220,000 delegates, I don't think I've interacted with even 10% of them. except that you rely on the structures that you build to get your message to them.
But the insincerity of the delegates is not his only concern. The former Food and Agriculture Minister tells me the entire process was skewed in favor of one candidate.
The reasons given by Mr. Trematin for quitting the contest to start with before coming out to say that he's no longer with the party, those are very solid ones, and I'm very sympathetic to those. See, the implication of all this is the unity of this party. If we are not seen to be having a level playing field, after 4th November, it's going to be very difficult to unite the party against the NDC. And for me, that is my worry. Because if people feel that they have not been fairly treated, how do you expect them to cooperate with the party after the contest when they feel that they haven't been treated well?
For 8 years between 2009 and 2016, Dr. Afi Akoto served as a Member of Parliament for Kwadaso in the Ashanti region. He was made Food and Agriculture Minister when the MPP won power in 2016. During his 6-year tenure, he spearheaded a government flagship program planning for food and jobs. The son of the late Asantehene linguist Bafo Akoto is counting on his strong roots in the Ashanti region to prepare him to victory. But he faces challenges there because the regional chairman, Bernard Nchibu-Osiakum, also known as Chairman Wontumi, has thrown his weight behind the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
The delegates down there have no respect for the conduct of the regional chairman. And his impression that he creates that he is in charge of the delegates will be proven on the 4th of November. Whether the kind of percentage that his candidate got will be repeated down there is still something that we have to wait for. But I'm confident that the message I've given to the people of Ashanti and to the rest of this country, the delegates know that this is the man.
Dr. Afi Akoto is hoping victory this weekend will help him reform the party and make it battle ready to win the upcoming 2024 general elections. This, he noted, would also enable him to have the mandate to pursue sustainable policies that are aimed at renewing the hope and confidence of the MPP fraternity.
We want to bring fundamental reforms into the MPP. We are not in a good place, and I'm the first to admit. And also the way the party is managed. We have rules and regulations which say that if you are a party official, you don't define or come out to say that you are supporting this person or that person. And look at what is happening. The whole government, the whole parliament, the whole party, most of the party, people, managers and so on, have come out openly to say that they support one person. And it goes against the rules. So that alone should tell you that there's something wrong with our party. And for me, I'm very unhappy.
For those who have worked closely with him, he is the best man for the job. Peter Otendakon is a close confidant.
I would describe Dr. Akoto as a go-getter, somebody whose words are sacred. If Dr. Akoto says this, take it as a contract. He means every word that he says. And Dr. Akoto is a very serious person. He's somebody who is an authority. If he says, let's deliver this, he will ensure that you deliver to the latter. That is Dr. Akoto.
Elton Brobe for Joy News.
The quest to find a job in Ghana fails, but Abiola Abiodun is not one who allows incidences of life to weigh him down. He quickly picks up from that disappointment, sits up his desire pot and also finds another handiwork doing so he doesn't become a burden on anyone. Well, that's the story Hannah Odami narrates in today's series of Hope.
I said charger, earpiece, cover, protector, headsets, different kind of accessories.
Abiola Toheb Abiodun is a father of 3. He's been pushing this cart for over 5 years. He didn't start the business this way though.
I didn't know anything about the business. It was some of my friends that introduced me to the business. I start with how much? I start with 100 cedi as at that time. I start with like small earpiece and charger. That time I used to carry around. But I thank God today that everything is my own, it's my business. So, and every day I go out, at least I'm making something out of it. So I have joy with what I'm doing.
An origin of Ibadan in the Oyo State of Nigeria, the Polytechnic graduate narrates why he migrated to Ghana.
Oh, I just came here to Ozu, at least as a man. The world has become a global village. If you are in somewhere and you don't have peace, or you see how the situation of the place are going, you need to move as a man. That's why I came here.
When his quest to find a job as an aluminium fabricator in Ghana did not materialize, Abiola found selling phone accessories as the best option to survival.
My plan is that if I will apply for company to continue the aluminium work. So, and as I came here, I applied for some company, so they didn't take me. So that's why I started this one.
Narrating his daily routine, Abiola was hopeful he will soon open his own shop.
Sometimes I close around 11:30 in the night. So, and I go to the market maybe sometimes around 2:30. That's how I start. I can continue with this forever because this one is a business. For year two, if I get shop, I'm planning to rent shop for Newtown. If I get shop, I will make it in a big way, and I'll start from there.
Guided by his philosophy of life, Abiola says he's not for once regretted any step that he's taken in ensuring his wife and children are well taken care of.
I'm not feel disappointment because as a man, you need to be growing every day. So as I start this one, I'm even happy that I get something that I'm doing here. So as I start from that, I never regret for one day. Because I thank God that I start this one as at that time, and this business has helped me a lot. It helped me a lot as at that time. So gradually, now I get where they say. Just sometimes I just move around small and I pack for them and sell. Till the evening time I go close.
And he does well to spend the money from his hustle with his family.
Because I make them happy. Sometimes if I close, I'm going out. I used to buy something for them. Sometimes we go to Labadi Beach, sometimes if I get one, sometimes we go to Bola Beach. Sometimes I take them to Medina for airport side. So sometimes we used to go out like that to go and enjoy ourselves.
Abiola believes self-determination should be embraced by the youth, most especially as they pursue their goals in life.
As a man or woman, you need to hustle for yourself. And the thing I see for it is that you need to believe in yourself, whatever you are doing. You need to continue doing what you know to do more. Because the time I start, it's been tough. The time I start, it is very tough somehow. But I continue the struggle. Sometimes it will be there somehow, but I continue. But the thing I believe is that one day God will help me. But now He helped me because I thank God that I have something that I'm doing. If you come here, you can't just day street be roaming about. You need to find something to do. As a man, don't follow people, because the time I came here, I saw many people, they are doing another thing, but for my mind, I make my mind say, I won't put my hand for any bad thing. So I just face what I'm doing. So this is where I am today.
Abiola go back to settle in Nigeria.
The aluminium work is my handwork, where I learn. It's good, but this one too is a business. I still learn this one, because even if I leave this one, I go back, I can still start this business for Nigeria. So it's like I see another opportunity. If I don't want to do the aluminium work again, I have another thing that I believe I can still do.
Hannah Wadami for Joy News.
And Presec Legon has cemented its place as the undisputed champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz after winning the 2023 competition for a record 8th time. They beat Achimota School and Opoku-Ware School to write their names in the NSMQ history books as the only school to have won the competition back-to-back twice in 2008, 2009 and 2022-2023. Maxwell Agbagba has the rest of the story.
The three schools came with one expectation: to win the trophy. As they sang their anthems, the sound of optimism echoed within the four walls of the National Theatre. First, the gentlemen from Opokuwari School, Achimota School, and the undisputed champions, Presec Legon.
Let me know whether it's true or false.
It was a comfortable lead for Presec Legon in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Things took a dramatic twist in round 4 during the true or false questions. Achimota School managed to close a 12-point gap to just 3 after the round.
Achimota School with the same preamble. B squared minus 4AC is greater than 0. Kenneth?
False.
You are right. May be formed from the dehydration of lactic acid.
Achimota School was back to losing ways and Presec back to winning ways during round 5 riddles. At the end of the contest, Presec Legon had 40 points, Achimota School 28 points, Opokuwari School 23 points.
This is our 30th anniversary, and so I am happy to also declare you the 30th anniversary champions of the National Science and Math Quiz.
I want to be all that here. Yeah, I want to be all that here. Yeah, I want to be all that here. This is the school I wanted to go.
A line in their anthem says they are happy at studios. Happy studios are we? At this point we ask, are they studios? Yes, indeed, they've won this competition for a record 8th time. So we can confirm that yes, they are studios. Are they happy? Yes. You can see the celebration in the background right now.
I've now met Elizabeth Morty. Her son is Presec NSMQ 2023 winner Selina Morty. She says Selinam is living a self-fulfilling prophecy. Selinam's brother, Selassie Morty, represented Presec in 2019 but missed out on the trophy by just 5 points to Ogasco. She said his brother, Selinam, who was then in junior high school, prophesied that he will attend Presec and lift the trophy.
He's a child that likes learning from childhood, even in his basic school. It's always first. Always first. So I know you do it. And the brother too contested in 2019.
Oh, wait.
Selassie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was on stage in 2019?
Yeah.
Wow.
Precisely. He doesn't do anything in the house except learning. He likes learning very well.
Wow. As a mother, what did you also do to support him? I'm sure you bought him a lot of science textbooks and all of that.
He takes his brother's own, Selassie's own.
Okay.
He copies from Selassie.
So while the contest was going on, what was running through your...
I was just afraid.
You were what?
I was scared. It came to a time I was scared. During the riddles, I was scared.
When Achimota School was getting closer.
I was scared, but so I was praying. I knew that God would do it. I told God that He's been first since childhood. So now that it's coming here, it shouldn't be second.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think God answered your prayer.
Of course.
Where do you see him in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years?
He said he wanted to go to the Stanford University.
Okay.
So I'll be going for graduation there.
Amen. I'll say amen. Amen. Final words. What do you have to say to a lot of parents who are watching this competition, who are watching the finals right now?
Okay,
what do you want to tell them?
I'll tell parents that we should always train our child to learn. Some of the parents, we like buying things for ourselves and then forget about things for the school. So I beg them.
Yeah.
It's good to support our children when they are good. Yeah. It's good to support them.
You are sister or aunt? Sister.
Yes, please.
I see smiles all over your face.
Yes.
Tell me, what's the feeling like at this point? You're so happy.
I'm so happy because my brother is a go-getter. He's a go-getter.
He's a go-getter?
Yeah, because when he was in, that was junior high, the brother was contesting, that was 2019. And he got to the final, but they were second. And he told us that he will make the grade and gain admission to Presec. And he's going to win the camp.
Oh, wait, Salinam said that?
Yeah, he said that. And we're like, hey, you are not yet there, you are. He said he would do it.
Wait, this was when he was in?
When he was in Form 2.
Whoa.
When he was in JHS.
Yeah.
And I can see that whatever he said.
That prophecy has come into reality.
It has come to reality.
The 2023 NSMQ winners from Presec could not hold back their excitement.
Very excited about this, and it's very nice that you have worked so hard, you have put in a lot of efforts, and you have also prayed to the Lord and committed everything to His hand, and He has granted us a victory. So I can't be anything else but excited at this point.
The global president for the that year's Dr. Ernesto Forisapon says they will not stop winning.
So we are not tired. We want to win it, so we have a double digits. That is why we win the 10th one. Then we pull some breaks. Then you retire. You retire from winning, but we pull some breaks. There are a lot of people to win some, so we have 2 more years ahead of us to win it. Yeah.
We say congratulations going out to Presec Legon. You're watching The Pulse, so the Joy News channel. We'll be right back. Please stay.
Starting this October 20th to 11th of November, the African Football League. Who is going to be crowned Africa's champion of champions and take the lion's share of the 14.4 million prize money? Catch all the games streaming at www.AFL Africa and on FIFA Plus. The African Football League, our game, our home. Now let's shine together.
Hello, kids! Are you ready to turn up the heat and show the world your culinary skills? It's that time again. It's the season 3 of the ultimate cooking competition for kids. It's Big Chef. This is your chance to prove to the world that your culinary creations are a recipe for success. Are you between the ages of 8 and 14 years and have the passion for cooking? Don't miss out on this sizzling opportunity. Share with us a 2-minute video of yourself cooking your favorite meal to a WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. You have from now till 9th November 2023 to come along and let's turn these kitchen dreams into a reality. Big Chef, good meals by kids.
Big Chef Season 3 is brought to you by Frital, Fortune Rice, Indomie, Tasty Tom, Flora Tissues, Kiki Juice Drink, Makana Market.
Well, the Vice President has been touring some parts of the northern parts of the country, and it's a good time to hear from, bring you excerpts of the campaign and also the rallies that the Vice President has been holding. Here are excerpts.
The country, and you look at the results. Accra, Mumia. And our polling station executives. Before I start my speech today, I want us to observe.
Well, apologies there. We seem to be having some challenges connecting to the Vice President who's been making some statements ahead of the presidential primaries of the New Patriotic Party later this weekend. We'll bring you the excerpts in our subsequent bulletins. But it's time to stay on democracy because it's been receding in the West Africa sub-region with growing threats of violent extremism, which have dominated the conversations in the West Africa region. Well, a former British High Commissioner to Ghana, Nicholas Westcott, is optimistic about the country's future and matters of democratic development. However, the former diplomat in an interview discloses to me that Ghana would have to encourage more people to freely express their views. In recent times, the sub-region has grappled with unconstitutional change of government, but Nicholas Westcott believes that Ghana can safeguard its status as the beacon of democracy by encouraging free speech. And if democracy is about legitimacy and the will of the people, should we be encouraging this?
We should be encouraging people to express their views, but there is also, we need to take account of history, that in the past, military governments have not really greatly benefited It's only when, Africa's economic growth took off in the 1990s, 2000s, which is the same time that there was a trend away from authoritarian governments towards democracy. The two do go together. They're not completely tied. China has achieved massive growth without any democracy. But they have a government that is accountable in some ways through its own different kinds of structures. Each African country has to find its own way of achieving accountable governments and economic growth. And I think throughout Africa, those who are in government, you can call them elites or whatever, need to find ways where they can respond to public views. And in our experience, the greater the transparency of government, the better. Because otherwise it's just too easy to use government to do very nicely for yourself and not so well for your people.
Your projection of the trend in the sub-region. I'm asking this question because of some of the tendencies we've seen from these West African leaders. Macky Sall, for instance, is being criticized in his home region. Same for Cote d'Ivoire, heading in for another elections. And yet all these leaders still want to go beyond the term limits. Is the reason for which the argument has been advanced that let's cap the term limits through the sub-regional body ECOWAS, so as to have a stipulated time within the protocols of the sub-region where a leader cannot serve beyond. Are term limits the way out?
They help, but they're not a magic solution. In Western Europe, Chancellor Merkel governed for 17, 18 years, and remained popular and remained accountable, and that's fine. So they are not a magic solution, but they can help persuade people who might otherwise think, I'm doing very well, everybody loves me, perhaps I should stay a little bit longer.
And catch a full playback of that interaction, Nicholas Westcott, on our social media platform and Joy News on TV, and also ASEPS on YouTube. But let's cross over once more to the northern parts of the country. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia making some very final comments ahead of the NPP's presidential primaries. Listen.
I prayed about it, and I decided that I will pick a form and win the flag bearership and break the 8 for the NPP. When we went to pick the forms, there were 10 of us who picked the forms, and our constitutions therefore mandated that there had to be a superdelegates congress to select 5 of us. When we went to the Superdelegates Congress on August 26, God listened to our prayers, and I won, and we won a decisive victory on August 26. The victory we won. The victory we won on August 26 was across the country. And when you look at the results, Greater Accra region, Bawumia, Ashanti region, Bawumia, Western region, Bawumia, Central region, Oti region, Volta region, Eastern region, Western North, Ahafo region, Bono region, Bono East, Northern region, Savannah region, Upper West, Northeast, Upper East. It was a remarkable victory, and I want to thank the people and the delegates from the Upper East region. You did very, very well in voting and in getting your chairman and your parliamentary candidate to vote for me. I am most grateful. But we have not yet finished. we still have one election to go on November 4th. And I want you all to vote 100% for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The Special Delegates Congress sent a very important message because the whole party across all the 16 regions and the headquarters, the whole party was united behind Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The whole party and the whole country. That is quite remarkable. And as we are proceeding to November 4th, some of our opponents are getting more and more afraid. They know that given what is happening, the results of November 4th will be even more devastating than that of August 26th. So they have decided to try to bring conflict amongst us. And the way they want to bring conflict amongst us is to tell lies, big lies, white lies. But I want to tell you that you should ignore all of those lies and let us stay united. Let us stay focused. The next few days, they will come out with more lies and more lies. We will continue to ignore them, and we will go and vote 100% for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. So, Choboy, if anybody asks you, why are you voting for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, tell them this. The first reason why I am voting for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is because he has the political experience, the election experience to win the 2024 election. Amongst the four of us, we are going for an election which is a presidential election, isn't it? 2024 presidential election. We are four people who are contesting. Amongst the four of us, it is only I who have the experience of presidential elections in Ghana. It is only me. None of them has been on a presidential election ticket. I have been as running mate in 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2020. So I know the ground. I have campaigned in presidential elections in the last 16 years. I've been to every constituency, slept in many constituencies, and I know the ground. So, as they say, follow who know road. Follow who know road. I know the road. And not only do I have the experience, I have the winning experience. We need somebody who knows how to win an election. Nana Akufo-Addo and I have won 2 elections. One 2016 and one 2020. So, if you want a flag bearer to break the 8, you need one of the aspirants who knows how to win.
That's more from Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia in our subsequent bulletins. Time now to take you to Parliament because the House has been asked to consider a new instrument which now creates a constituency for the Central Kofi, Akpafo and Lulubi areas. The constituency which will now be known as the Guan constituencies, to rectify the constitutional anomaly that left thousands of residents in the area without representation in Parliament. The EC's action is not allowing residents of South to vote in the parliamentary elections in 2020 has been roundly condemned. Let's get more from our parliamentary correspondent, Kweku Asante, who has more for us. Kweku, what is Parliament seeking to do under this new bill? Tell us more. We're unable to hear you, Kweku. If you could just unmute and get on the line for us.
Yes, Blessed. This paper has been laid on behalf of the Electoral Commissioner, Madam Jean Mensah, by the majority leader. Early on, there were information swirling around that the Electoral Commission intended to create some additional 20 or 25 constituencies. That has been now roundly disapproved. And that what is actually happening is that the Electoral Commission is seeking to create only one additional constituency, at least for now. You know that in the lead up to the 2020 election, and in fact, on the eve of 7 December, Madam Jean Mensah put out a notice that the people in Central Kofi, Lolobi, Akpafu, the Sal areas, were not going to vote in the parliamentary election because of the division of the region and the confusion as to where exactly they fell. And because of that, they only voted for the president, either John Mahama Akufo-Addo or all the other candidates that stood in that election. And so, for the last 3 years that this parliament has been in session, the people of South have not been represented. And finally, the Electoral Commission is seeking in this 8th parliament, because this 8th parliament will end next year, and they cannot add a new MP midstream if it's not through a by-election or any of that sort of information. So the representation of the people amendment instrument is now to create the South constituency, properly so-called the Guan constituency, so that in 2024, 7 December, the people in South can now vote for a representative to be in Parliament in the 9th Parliament.
I see. What's been the reaction from the minority side of the House?
Well, this did not prompt much response because this was just laying of a paper, because invariably the committee that this has been referred to will work on it and present a report to the House. That is when that will be debated and we'll get to know about the comments. But of course, the Speaker that passed some comments about rectifying what has generally been a cardinal sin. In his words, he believed that it was improper that Parliament constituted did not have representative from a particular segment of the Ghanaian population. And so he believed that this finally deals with that issue. And so he was expecting that the committees would deal with it. And so this instrument has now been presented to the Subsidiary Legislation Committee chaired by Dr. Dominic Ayini. They will look at it, they will present a report, and if Parliament approves of it finally, SAL will now have a new constituency called Guan in 2024.
Okay, this has been a huge debate in the House. I recall Kofi Adams and the clash between the Attorney General. How is that going to look like in terms of the numbers in the House, and what other considerations are being made now?
Well, Blessed, for this, I think the general consensus is that both sides of the House are in support of any idea that will allow the people of SAL get representation in the House. And so it is not expected to be like any political hot potato, any political issue that will, as it were, make it difficult for this instrument to go through. So we expect that this will be speedily taken through the Subsidiary Legislation Committee. They will look at it. It will come back to the House for a vote. It will be approved. That is the expectation we get. And then when the instrument matures clearly after 21 days, then this will come into force. And then both parties can now go ahead, elect parliamentary candidates in those respective areas and allow for election to come through. What we understand now is that this is expected to go through without any let or hindrance, that both sides are really firmly in support of this.
Okay, grateful. Kweku Asante joining us with the latest on that. Thank you. Access to legal education across the country has been constrained due to the deficiency in infrastructure, preventing the institution from admitting numerous qualified students each year. To pave way for more students to be enrolled into the law faculty, the University of Ghana has begun the construction of an ultra-modern law school equipped with lecture halls and state-of-the-art facilities in a bid to expand legal education. There's more in this report.
The construction of the University of Ghana Law School, which would house 32 lecture halls, 2 moot courts, 100 offices, 1,500-seater auditorium, and other essential facilities, would help alleviate the infrastructure deficit faced by the university. Speaking at the third curtain ceremony of the law complex, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Nanaba Apia Amfo, indicated that the construction of the multipurpose hall is timely as it will help accommodate the growing population of the law school.
The University of Ghana School of Law, one of the flagship academic units of the University of Ghana, has experienced exponential growth in program offerings, student and staff population. From 6 programs, the school currently offers 41 programs. Consequently, the student population has also grown to over 2,000 from about 600 students. The staff strength has also been augmented to a little over 100 to meet the growing demands of the school. From these statistics, there could not have been an opportune time to commence the construction of an edifice befitting the status of the University of Ghana School of Law. And so this groundbreaking ceremony is therefore very timely.
The Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Justice Gertrude Tokonu, stated that the law complex will create an atmosphere that will foster critical thinking among students.
I am hopeful that the envisioned state of the art facility that we will be cutting the sod for will not only contribute significantly to legal education in the country, but will also act as a leadership beacon to all involved in the learning, administration, and implementation of law and justice in the country. I know that the new University of Ghana School of Law building complex will present a practical expression of the atmosphere that fosters critical thinking and innovative research in law. Many seminars, workshops, and think tanks to shape a coherent and harmonious whole for the learning and administration of law and justice should also flow out of here.
Project designer Ahmed Dodu provided a detailed overview of the project.
What we have here is a 28,000 square meter building consisting of various lecture halls and administrative offices. So what we have is 32 lecture halls comprising of 1,500-seater lecture hall, 1,000-seater, 2 500, 4 250 lecture halls, 8 125, and then 16 65 lecture halls. And then we have over 100 plus offices for all lecturers, because most lecturers want their own private individual offices. And then we have also so the building itself is like an L-shaped building, and it's 4 stories high. So the lecture halls are on the ground and first floor, and then the offices are on the second and third floor.
The project, which commenced in September, is expected to be completed within 24 months. Esther Nkrumah's report for Joy News.
And the Paramount Chief of Jama Traditional Area in the Savannah region has expressed his commitment to collaborate with all traditional authorities in the region to promote education, unity and development. He indicates the topmost priority is to push education in the Jama Traditional Area north and within the more traditional area and the entire Savannah region. The Paramount Chief of the area noted that he is currently discussing with other traditional rulers in the region about how to make education attractive to the youth. The professor was speaking during his ordination at Jama in the Savannah region, from where Nesta Kafri reports.
I am conscious of the various challenges of my people, and those are my responsibilities. For everywhere I look, there is work to be done. The living conditions of my people call for action, bold and swift, and I will act, not only to create new opportunities and new jobs in a rapidly changing environment, but to lay a new foundation for development and growth. Especially through investment in education. Investment in education is investment in a secure and a stable future. We look forward to working closely with all well-meaning organizations such as the Bui Power Authority to extend their commitment of corporate social responsibilities to enhance educational attainment, especially in science and technology in our area. With the establishment of my foundation, Lanjago Kale Foundation, to spearhead this ideal, in conjunction with Michael Blaise School of Adenta, Accra, we are committed to bringing quality education by means of virtual learning schools to the Jama traditional area, North Mo traditional council area, Bole districts, Dega and the Savannah region as a whole. In this regard, we appeal to government to support us in the quest for the provision of efficient telecommunication infrastructure in our area and mobile data support from mobile phone network companies.
Now, Professor Kale encouraged Ghanaians to be careful about how they treat the environment to mitigate the negative impacts on the society.
Now, we are aware that in recent times there have been rains and devastations affecting the Volta River spillage. When you go to Akosombo, there are disasters, waters have been spilling, and my geography background will tell us that global warming is a very important factor, and not only that, human factors, how we conduct ourselves in the environment influence the way that it affects the environment. So, my people of Ghana, let us be sensitive about the environment so that whatever that we do, we will know that it will come to bite us, it will affect us. Therefore, we should try our possible best to look after the environment, to avoid such devastation.
Known in private life as Professor Noah Kofi Kale, a professor in land economy with Cambridge University, now Professor Lanjago Kale became the paramount chief of Jama traditional area in January 2023. He has a great deal of teaching and research experience in different countries, including the United Kingdom, South Africa, China, and Ghana. Now Professor Kale succeeds his late uncle, Na Kojo Pambo, as the paramount chief of Jama traditional area. For Joy News, Nesta Kafu Yajoma reporting.
And a report on new secular vision for electronics published by the United Nations in 2019 indicates that, I beg your pardon, each year approximately 50 million tons of electronics and also electrical waste are produced, and out of that only 20% is formally recycled. The report indicates that if nothing is done, the amount of waste will be more than double by the year 2050 to 120 million tons annually. To tackle this, the Electro Recycling Ghana is urging all Ghanaians to join hands in the proper disposal of electronic waste in order to save the environment. We have more.
Some school children dismantling and reassembling electronic waste into useful product. This is part of efforts by the Electro Recycling Ghana, ERG, an electronic waste recycling company, to enhance environmental sustainability as part of the 2023 German Day celebration in Ghana. According to researchers, the e-waste problem could expand into a global health crisis, largely affecting urban areas if not addressed. To help deal with this concern in Ghana, ERG is embarking on a mission to reutilize most of the electronic waste that find their way into Ghana. The general manager of ERG, Kweku Adai, says this must be a concern for every Ghanaian.
The e-waste contains chemicals, toxic materials. We normally find them in the oceans, along the river bodies, and we drink them. And in fact, we are bringing toxic materials into our body. And that is jeopardizing our futures. We can die, we can get sicknesses that cannot be healed, and we don't have the money. So the time has come for everyone in Ghana to join the crusade. Mobilize all the discarded materials, discarded electronic and electrical materials in your houses, in your homes, along the streets, in the communities, for proper dismantling, proper repair person, so that we can live Ghana the way we want it to be.
He wants corporate organizations with discarded electronic equipment to contact Electro Recycling Ghana for them to repurpose those items.
We have corporate collection systems, so we go to companies and collect them. And we call on companies who have discarded materials to call on us. We will appropriately come and collect them. We don't take them for free, we pay you, provided they are not toxic. So those that are toxic, we will have to pay us to repair them. But those that are non-toxic, we will pay you and then properly dispose them of or repurpose them.
He believes the government must come on board to help recyclers like ERG to recycle more electronic waste.
The laws and the policies must help us to operate. Beyond this, we need proper political system that enhances financing of the activities we do. Additionally, some of the materials cannot be disposed of here in Ghana, and we have to export them. Ghana is actually under some international conventions, and so the political leadership must help us assess the relevant permits to be able to export them for proper disposal.
One of the partners of ERG, the German Chamber of Commerce, wants investors to support ERG in its effort to enhance environmental sustainability. Solomon Lodo is a project manager at the chamber.
The impact of climate change is not just limited to countries, or it's not just limited to a particular region, but it's a global issue. So companies or individuals or donors or angel investors who are interested in e-waste or about environmental sustainability can actually partner with Electro Recycle Ghana, because they have taken upon themselves to actually do the sensitization and also taking e-waste and recycling them. So if Ghana government and even the corporate society can support them, I believe the issues of e-waste, if not reduced, will be completely wiped off.
It's a call for all of us to join in making the environment sustainable. The ERG says it's leading the way and needs the support of all Ghanaians. For Joy News, Samuel Kojo Brace, OEB.
Well, we're signing off here on The Pulse with me, Blessed Sogan. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.